going on, peeps? Let's go to the comic book shop. So it's snowing out, and I went to 2 different comic shops to pick up my books. Went to one place that I don't go to anymore, and then the other place where I love to go all the time, and we're gonna have some videos about that here shortly. But let's sit down and let's look at some books. All right, we're back from the LCS. Man, it is snowing crazy out there. Anyway, let's keep on going. We got Absolute Batman here, issue number 4, and I've read all the way up to this issue so far. This is probably one of the titles that I'm keeping up on. Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman as well. Like, I'm really keeping up on this title here. I haven't read this yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be freaking fantastic. Where we left off in issue 3 has me anticipated to read this. But out of everything Absolute, I've been really enjoying Wonder Woman the most. But I mean, that's not to say that what Scott Snyder has been doing with Absolute Batman isn't my favorite, but it isn't, because it's Wonder Woman. Nonetheless, we're going to keep on moving on. We have Thundercats issue number 11 here, and I got up to like issue 5 or 6 and I kind of stopped because I started to get into other stuff that was a little bit more like interesting to me. I do really love this story. The art is not all that great, even though the covers are all freaking awesome. I think this is a DNA cover. This is not a DNA cover, but most of the Thundercats have been DNA covers, and I really love it. But the innards haven't been the same, or they're done by someone else, and I really don't care for the art as well, but as much, I should say. But nonetheless, like, the story just really brings me back with a bowl of cereal in front of my TV, sitting Indian style and fucking watching cartoons, watching Thundercats. So we got Thundercats there. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue. What's it, 65? I think I'm like 10 or 15 issues behind on this one. Again, like I've turned myself back into Juan buys comics more than Juan reads comics. Just lately, I just been feeling like not myself, and I get into these little, like, I don't know, I get into these little moods where I don't feel like reading and whatnot, and just, I don't know, I just want to do something else, like watch TV or do something. But anyway, I've been loving Amazing Spider-Man. I've been loving the ASM run, even with Zeb Wells on it. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't the best like Spider-Man stuff that I've ever read in my life, but nonetheless, it was pretty freaking good. And everyone that's like shooting down ASM and saying it wasn't that great, I mean, if it wasn't great for you, then that's okay. But I felt like it was still a great run, and Zeb Wells and what's his name, John Romita Jr. did an amazing job with that run, and it's all over now. Now we got this whole 8 deaths of Spider-Man, which I can't wait to get into. Next up we have here is Transformers issue number 16, and I am definitely a few issues behind on this. I think I'm like 4 issues behind. Got all the way up to, I think, issue 10 or 11. And then I took like a little hiatus from the shop that I was going to, and then went to the shop that I'm actually going to now, Arcade Comics, and picking them up from there. So I'm a few issues behind on that, but nonetheless, I got to freaking interview Daniel Warren Johnson. If you want to check that interview out, go to World at War Comics to go check that out. But it's going to be so freaking bittersweet to see Daniel Warren Johnson leave Transformers, because, you know, he's been doing an amazing job with that. Just the book that I saw on the shelf here, Spider-Man Homeroom Heroes. I don't know what this cover just jumped out at me, and I had to pick this cover up just for the sole fact that it's a number 1 and it's a nice little cover and all that jazz. And so I'm going to pick it up, see what it's all about. All right, moving on. I already have Rook Exodus in my collection, and I'm not caught up on it as well, but I saw this cover and I picked it up as well at the other comic book shop that I was at. So the next book that I have here are a couple of back issues that I read this whole story digitally, but I didn't pick it up because it was at my old LCS. And what I thought was going to happen is they were going to put all the books that I had in my short box for my pull box, they were going to put them back on the shelves, but they kept them there. And so I rifled through it and found some stuff that I needed to finish my sets of, like, you know, story arcs and whatnot. So I picked this one up. And if you haven't read June Bai's The Boy Wonder, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because that was freaking awesome. Back issues of issue 57 of Amazing Spider-Man, Also got the back issue of Amazing Spider-Man issue 55, as well as Amazing Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 8. I still have like 2 more. I think I stopped on issue 5 with this run, I believe, but I have a few more issues to get so I can complete that. But I'm behind. Okay, Juan reads comics is actually Juan buys comics. Anyway, pick this one up as well. Dark Empty Void by Zach Kaplan, which just him describing it on Panaloids, the podcast that I'm now involved with. If you can see it there, involved there. I'm actually crew now. I do some editing. I'm maybe on the show a little bit more if I can take some time off, but nonetheless, Dark Empty Void by Zach Kaplan. Can't wait to get into this one. Let's see. We got Transformers. Here are some back issues of Transformers. Transformers 11. Had to pick that up. That was at my old LCS. Then I picked up also Transformers issue 12. I need to get back into those so I can start calling myself Juan who reads comics. Then I picked up Scarlet. I already read this digitally, but I had to pick this up again. This is at my local LCS and I hadn't picked it up yet. I just brought this with me because I was talking to someone about The Moon is Following Us and I wanted to show them a couple panels from this book, so I brought it with me. And then I believe this is part of my pulls as well. We got the Uncanny X-Men issue number 8, definitely behind on that. And then last but not least, we have the Ultimate Black Panther issue number 12. Now I have a mutual on here says that he dropped Ultimate Black Panther because he said it was going too slow. I said that from the beginning. Like the way the concept and everything of that story just felt really slow and it didn't feel like it was something new. It was just like they kind of just, put some lipstick on it. They called it something different. You know what I mean? I read a couple issues of it and it did get a little bit better, but I'm not surprised that he dropped it because it got to like, I don't know what they're doing with it because obviously I haven't got up to issue 12 yet or issue 11 to find out what is going on in his brain. But nonetheless, I'm going to figure out and find out what people are talking about and why they think it's like so drawn out and whatnot. But last, I want to leave you with this thought. Your comic book shop owners do not have, they don't have a crystal ball and they don't have like, say over what the distributors are doing. So, and what I'm getting into is Diamond. Diamond is a distributor that distributes a lot of like indie comic books like Boom and all that. But so basically a lot of indie books are not getting distributed because of all the things that are going on over at Diamond. So I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Diamond, get your shit together. Because it's a trickle down effect. If you are not going to make good on the will of the comic book shop owners, then it trickles down to us, the folks who read the comics and the folks who buy the comics. And when they don't come in time, that, it doesn't really matter to me that much because I don't get to my comics as fast as I want to. But for those folks that like are anticipating their comic books to come out on Wednesdays, man, do better, Diamond. Like seriously, you got comic book shop owners stressed the hell out because the books are not coming in. And then when they do come in, it's like I was talking to my comic book shop guy, the owner of it, and he was like, well, then I get a box from Diamond and then it's just a bunch of random books. And then now I have to go and do extra legwork because it's been like a couple weeks or a month or so when those books come in. So now he's got to figure out who missed this book, and it's just so much work for him, So do better, Diamond. And if you ain't gonna do it, just let Lunar or let Penguin or let another distributor take the business because you guys are not doing well right now, and a lot of people are upset. So do better, Diamond. Anyway, until next time, read your comics.
Go away. Read some books.